Hello everyone, and welcome to Vintrolicity by Senchigami, your weekly wrap-up for all Valorant news on the competitive scene. I'm your host, Veluxe. So, can I just say that I'm beyond thankful that Riot is actually hosting their Valorant matches in the evening so I can watch Masters Reykjavik at a reasonable hour. I was completely prepared not to sleep this week, but I'm so thankful. But before we get onto the road to Reykjavik, though, we do have big news from the world of Valorant, namely news about other Valorant news sources. So here at Vintrolicity, it's pretty much gossip. You know the Spike GG, honestly, if you're watching this but don't know who they are, I'm surprised, but also thank you so much. It's pretty much the biggest Valorant news site out there. So if you Googled anything about Valorant esports in the last week, you'd see their site up near the top of your search results. They're huge. But now they're offline, gone, zip, nada, bye-bye. A lot of their staff actually came forward saying that they hadn't been paid properly. In fact, some of them hadn't been paid for 7 months. The Spike allegedly owed its staff $40,000 for months of work, and there was also lots of comments about the CEO, Arar Minakov's conduct at work and how they had treated some of their employees. So this is all set up for huge controversy with Minakov needing to actually respond to these allegations, and he did. Minakov admitted that he did owe the money, and he sold his controlling stake in the Spike GG to pay for some of the writers that hadn't been paid, and as of now, the site is going to be brought back, but under new management. Our writer Jackson told me that in journalism school that they're taught that if it bleeds, it leads. AKA, this would be a better story if there was a big legal battle going on, but honestly, we're just happy that we have something nice to talk about, and the fact that Minakov is paying his staff and being held accountable. And we're going to get the Spike GG back as a Valorant resource. That's the happiest ending we could hope for here. Everyone deserves to be paid, and as long as the new owners are a bit timelier with the checks, it will be great to have the Spike back. But do you want to know who does pay their team? Senchigami, the wonderful sponsors and owners of this week's news. Senchigami is a clothing brand that represents the light bulb moment that helps you push to get more out of life. Check out senchigami.com to see our new Emergence line featuring some fucking awesome work made by really passionate independent creators. Welcome to Masters Reykjavik, everyone. See, we promised we'd get here eventually. The Masters Series is this week, and it's the first time Valorant has been able to properly go international, and I, for one, am so excited. If you've watched any of the Challengers tournaments or regional Masters tournaments, we had a pretty good idea of what was going to happen. For example, Sentinels, with or without Sinatra, have been cleaning up North American events. Even the second team that North America has sent to Reykjavik, version 1, got slapped 3-0 in Challenger Finals NA. So we know that Sentinels have a good chance against version 1 if they meet up in the upper bracket finals again. We can say the same about Team Viking beating NYG Sharks and Team Liquid triumphing over Fnatic. We have seen these matches and have a pretty good idea about how they're going to go. But when it comes to the rest of the event, we have no idea. Do you know how exciting that is? Guess what happened last time Sentinels played against Fnatic? Nothing. They've never actually played against them. We only know how Sentinels play against American teams. We don't know how the Brazilian team Vikings are going to fare up against KRU esports. Like, this is absolutely insane. So we're lucky that Valorant is like this. It's so rare to have an esport that has a first clash of international teams, let alone a game as new as Valorant. So I'm excited for this game getting love from the world. Keep in mind, any other year, the Regional Masters event would have been international. Instead, we're going to be seeing players who've been mastering competitive Valorant for a full year ahead of Reykjavik to play against other players who are just as good in completely different ways. Honestly, it's going to be wild, and every time we talk about Valorant events, we're going to have opinions to toss in some data and all that stuff you can expect from a professional Valorant show like ours, but for Reykjavik, all we can do is literally watch. Well, team, that's everything from us this week with Valorant news. Come kick it with us in the Senchigami Discord. Check out the Emergence collection on the Senchigami website. And remember that Iceland is 4 hours ahead of EST. So if you see a match listed as local time, you need to do some math. Thanks for hanging out with me, Veluxe. And don't forget to check your corners. See you next week. Bye. ProSettings.net just dropped a huge data sheet about the settings that all of the Valorant bros? I mean, true, but